Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 409, recording live but not in front of a studio audience on June 17th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Mo.
I'm Adriel.
And I'm Hef.
We didn't change it on you. I don't even think we can. I'm pretty sure you changed that.
No, I clicked the link and it was spelt Hef right there. I'm not that creative to throw that in there.
I can't change. Oh, I can edit your name. Oh, someone edited your name on the last podcast at the end of the show.
I think I know who.
That's what happened. That makes sense. Okay, mystery solved.
So we'll get into what we did with guns. What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearm retailer. They have the Tika T3X Arctic available. And also regarding the FAMA special order pre-order rifle, the deadline, I believe, was yesterday, but it's been extended, I think, to the 24th because I guess they didn't meet the minimum 100 orders. So they're going to extend it to try to get it in.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, Hef, why don't you get us started on what you did with guns?
Well, Saturday, I went out to the range while I was out there Friday night cooking up briskets for our company staff shoot. We were shooting a little bit of sporting clays and then eating meat and having a good time afterwards. Performance was just nope. It was a busy week, so didn't really get to do much else. But I did get that loaner WK set up, transferred over some sights and stuff from my Alberta modern environment. Yeah, put in a trigger, and I actually had to use a Dremel on it, so I'll just grab it here.
I had to Dremel my MCR too, just recently here.
Oh, you're a Dremel guy as well?
Oh, hardcore Dremel guy.
Do either of you guys teach a course that I could take? Because maybe I could.
No one would pay for this.
No
one would pay for the savagery I put into my rifles.
Got it.
So changed out the buttstock. I had this Cole Components kicking around, and I really like their buttstocks. I have one on my modern environment as well. So threw that on, threw on my VX6 multi-gun, and then my 45-degree irons, because I shoot in Pro Stock or TAC Ops. So that's for if I'm have to magnify and quick acquisition. And then I had another Calvin Elite kicking around, and that's the part I actually had to Dremel.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I'm surprised you got that in there.
Because it's so thick in there. I could get it in there, but I couldn't actually, the little bit it has to move, it wouldn't actually move. So I ground off the ends of the adjustment bar there just so that it would move, and then threw on extended release.
That trigger, so like I thought I was going to use that trigger in my WK, but I saw how much work it was going to be, and I gave up. And that's you guys know how much I love dremeling things and grinding stuff. So
it literally took 2 seconds. I took like a 16th of an inch off either end, and it's full function.
I might have to do that then. I've got my Calvin Elite in my Maple Ridge Armory Maverick right now, but I don't need such a fancy trigger in that rifle. I need my fancy trigger in my 3-gun rifle. Yeah. Maybe. But yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, so did that. Yeah. I'm having issues with this 2-piece shell catch on my Benelli, though. It's giving me some grief, so it's probably coming out for the weekend, and the factory one getting put back in until I can figure it out, because it loads really nice, but I might have too much spring tension in the mag tube, so it's kind of going to have to balance for loading as well as with that auto lifter. So I got to do a little bit more experimentation on that, because it's just not dropping the shells from the tube.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a 3-gun match in Peace River this weekend. So
nice.
You ready for it?
Sure.
He's dremeling his rifles and swapping parts out of both of them at the same time the weekend before. Yeah, he's ready. Yeah.
You sound confident. Yeah, for sure.
Adriel, what did you do this week?
I did a whole bunch of stuff. So on Saturday, I went to a 3-gun match and did that. And boy, I did terrible, absolutely terrible, for a couple reasons. One, I just didn't have my foot on the gas. Like I was watching some video of me shooting, and I was like, that's like usually I shoot a little bit safe. Usually I'll shoot to like 90 or 95% of my ability. I won't swing for the fences and go for 100% and have the wheels come off. But I was going too slow. And then the other thing I ran into issues with that I didn't foresee, I have shot last year in December, I shot like a match where I was just goofing around. I was using like a Garand and a Gersan and that kind of thing. And it was fine then. But one thing I noticed from this match, I took the NP22 out and I shot it. The gun ran fine. The trigger was great on it. The reliability was fine. The thing I did notice though was that I was so slow with it. Anytime I needed some accuracy out of it, boy, it was slow. And I think it's because I've been using a target-focused shooting for about 4 years now. And normally, all my guns for the last 4 or 5 years have been like a dot front, blacked rear. And I go target focus 100% of the time. And I look for the dot, I place it somewhere and start hammering on the trigger. This is a 3-dot setup, and I didn't black out the rear ones because I'm probably going to sell it. And it was slow. It was like noticeably slower. I didn't feel it when I was at the range when I wasn't competing, where I was just like plinking away. It was fine, but on the clock, it was quite a bit slower than the other way. And I actually had to start focusing on the front sight again just to be able to see it between the three. Because you can't. They're all three of them are fuzzy. If you go target focus, all three of those dots are fuzzy, and it's just visually confusing. Yeah. Anyways, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a good one.
My other excuse would just be that I suck, and I just need to get better, go faster. Yeah, but other than that, it was a fun day. Really creative stages. And a lot of fun. We had ones where like we were shooting long range. We had a dummy that we had to like haul and shoot with the pistol at the same time. Like that kind of like horsing around stuff that I think is interesting and fun, and I like that kind of shooting.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the next day we had family day at the range, so I was back out after 13 hours on the range on Saturday. I was back out again on Sunday.
Yay!
And at the family day, family day was good. It was kind of like a variety shoot where you have a bunch of stations where it's like this is the 22 LR station, this is the handgun station, this is a 3-gun station, and people can just buy tickets and then just go shoot whatever they want to. No PAL required. We'll show you what to do and that kind of thing. So. That was really cool. I ran the 22 LR station. I was showing people standing position shooting and sitting if they wanted. So a lot of 22 stuff. We had like a couple of kids who like kept coming back and back and back. These 3 boys, and they were competing. So they'd go like ask their parents for some tickets, and they'd come back and like, hey, we're doing a competition again. They'd compete to see
cool.
how many times they could hit these flapjacks or whatever. So. By the way, those flapjacks, this is the second weekend in a row I've used them. They've got hundreds of rounds in them. And if you use 22, they're just invincible. If you use like big bad 45 or hollow points or something like that, you'll tear chunks out of them. But 22, they last forever. Oh man, nice. So good, nice. So good. The only way you can tell they've been like shot to hell is they're full of like the smear from the grease and the lead from the 22 rounds as they go through. But other than that, they're fine. Let's see. And then, so I got this Canada Post notice the other day. I dislike getting stuff in the mail from Canada Post because anytime I get something that's like license required, like age proof kind of a thing, they don't do it here. You have to like go down to the post office to do it. And even if like the guy left the parcel at the place and it's there, they have to like process it. And sometimes if the right lady's at the post office, they'll process it right there for me and give me the package so that I can see with my eyes. And sometimes they follow their policy and they say come back tomorrow, which annoys me because I got this age restricted one and I'm like, I haven't ordered a gun. I don't know what the heck this is. Did someone just send me a gun? do I have like a mystery one coming in through the mail? Nice. So I was like, sometimes that's happened to me, right? Sometimes I just get like random guns in the mail. But
Nice problem to have.
yeah. And then I went to the mail and I got it today, and it's a spring. It's Maple Ridge Armory. I guess the factory spring isn't quite springy enough, so they're having maybe they're having feeding problems or something like that. So they gave us a slightly longer spring for the Maverick, which I don't need. So I was all hyped up for a gun in the mail, and it turned out to be a spring. Oh well, I got an extra power recoil spring now for an AR10 if I need one.
Nice.
Yeah, or another Maverick if I end up getting another one of those. And then next weekend I have a 3-pack of maple seeds coming up. So I'll be at BTSA twice during the week, and then I'll be at Lethbridge on the Saturday. So that's going to be a lot. That's going to be another long couple of days on the range, sleeping in my van down by the river, kind of I just hope the weather isn't I don't have any heating or AC or anything like that. I just hope the weather's not inclement enough to where it's just going to be miserable. I can't imagine it would be. It's still too early in the year to be super duper hot.
Yeah.
And they can't get cold enough to suffer in a van. It's
No.
really well insulated. It's quiet. Yeah, it's way better than a tent for that.
It is Lethbridge. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, true. Oh, Lethbridge is going to be hot.
Yeah.
I have a solution for that, though. I think I'll be fine. Anyways, that's all the stuff I've been up to. What about you, Mo?
On Saturday, I had my first IPSC match in Quebec, and it got off to an interesting start. A good local friend of mine had warned me about the traffic going through Montreal to get to the range, and Google Maps had said it was an hour and 10 minutes when I first looked, and it ended up taking almost 2 hours. So I got there, I parked the car, and I just got there in time for the stage brief. So it was a bit. I was starting to get nervous because I'm like, because you just see the time, the estimated time of arrival, and it just kept adding and adding and adding. I'm like, oh boy. But when I got there, it was a nice range, Centre de Tir Masca. It was a nice range, first time there, of course, and I'm standing around waiting to shoot, and this guy walks up to me and says, "Mo from Slamfire Radio," and I paused, and I'm not sure if I was smiling or not, and he goes, "We do say the commands in English here," and then I just started laughing. So I'm clearly he listens to the show. So that's how I met Louis, and he turned out to be a great guy. I met his wife Lisa as well, and we ended up talking most of the time. He was in my squad, and we ended up talking most of the time. The two of them actually gave me so many tips about all the different matches to go to, and the whole IPSC Quebec scene. Mm-hmm. So that was a great experience. The negative part was I found out that my new gun is sensitive to hard primers, which I didn't even know there was such a thing as soft primers and hard primers. So I ended up learning that the next day when I went to the range and was testing it out. So I ended up with a lot of racking of the slides. So, I did well accuracy-wise, but the time was not good. But overall, the experience was amazing, and met so many great people. The match director there, Yvonne, was terrific too. I don't want to get him in trouble. There was a little bit of a gathering after, and it just it felt like normal times, and it was just overall a good experience.
We're almost there.
Awesome.
We're almost there.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
so
that's what it felt like. I told a few friends, I said it just felt normal, and I think. We all want that so bad, right? And so this Sunday when I went to the range and I tested it out, one of the guys there, Rock at CFRAM, he helped me figure it out. And so I ended up ordering. I had switched to the CCI small pistol primers, and apparently from what I read, they're the harder capped ones. And I ended up ordering the Federals. And they're supposed to be a softer, easier strike primer. So I'm going to start reloading those. I have a match tomorrow morning, and I didn't have time to reload. So I basically bought enough factory ammo just so I can, shoot the match and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. So the gun that you're using is that Gucci Glock, right?
Yeah, the shadow
Yeah.
systems. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's going to have like a lighter striker spring on it. It's going to need those easier to strike off primers because they're all about the trigger. What's the trigger pull like on that thing?
4.5. It's not as light as you would think, right? But I mean, it doesn't feel it. I'm like, and not that I know what a 3.5 or 4.5 the difference, but it doesn't feel like a hard pull. But so yeah, that's what happened with that. And I have my match in Peterborough, Ontario tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be part of the build crew, and so that'll be my first time doing that. And then I guess after lunch, we are going to actually shoot the match. It's going to be 8 stages. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And I had to, I don't know if most of you guys know this, but I had to actually apply for an ATT because anytime you leave Quebec as a Quebec resident and you go to a match outside of Quebec, you have to actually apply for an ATT just like the way it was years ago. And even if you go to a match within Quebec, you still have to have an invitation letter to, I mean, this is all if you get stopped, right? And
Everything's legal until you get stopped.
yeah, I know. It's all legal until you get pulled over.
Yeah.
But so that's just, it adds to the extra, the steps involved in to going to matches. But I'm going to try, it was such a good experience with the IPSC match in Quebec. And so I'm definitely going to keep going. And there's a bunch of like matches within an hour and a half, 2 hours from where I am. So I'm definitely going to be signing up for those.
So if every time you go to a different range, what's your turnaround time for your ATT?
Well, that's only within Quebec. You just need an invitation letter from the match director, which, I mean, they're going to send it right away. But for me to come to Ontario, it was about a day. It's not too bad. It's like even with the restricted transfers right now, it's only 2 business days, which is definitely better than it was in Ontario. So
yeah,
but they're sticklers. Like you have to have like when you apply for the AT, you have to have the invitation letter and you have to fill out the whole 3-page form. And so
got to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but we all know that.
I just tried my Gucci Glock trigger, and it's under 4 pounds. But I got the
Under
Zev
4?
trigger in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bit more worn in because I got a few thousand rounds into this one.
Yeah, no, my gun is maybe at 1,000 rounds. It's not. It hasn't been. It honestly hasn't been fully broken in. So, so that might have been part of it as well. But I mean, for now, I'm just going to go with the softer primers and just stick with that.
Yeah.
And so we can do the upcoming events sponsored by TLS Alpha. TLS Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchants, processors, and social media. Learn more at tlsalpha.com. So on the calendar here, we have the Chaz Lee Enfield shoot, June 20th. For more information, go to the Chaz Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Maple Seeds at BTSA on June 24th, 25th.
We've already expanded those, so we added spots to both those, and the Lethbridge one should be open soon. Just waiting on a agreement.
Good. Ooh. And then there's the 3-gun match in Peace River on June 19th. I guess it's on Facebook, MP3G. Oh, there we go. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Sorry
How are you?
Not too bad, yourself.
Good, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And for our main topic, we have Alexandre Berdat, our top IPSC production shooter in Canada and one of the best actually in the world. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm sure lots of listeners know about you, but just for those that don't, if you could tell us about your history with firearms and how and when you got into actual IPSC and shooting competitively.
Yep. Actually, so I started, time goes by pretty fast. I started back in 2012, where I was 25 years old. I was doing martial arts. My cousin was studying to become a police officer. So we were doing martial arts together, and he was going to get his license just for personal knowledge, as it comes with the work, with the job. So, and I didn't even know you could do like target shooting. I know like you could hunt and stuff, but like actual target shooting with handguns is something that was really, I was curious about, just to personal knowledge. I want to know something new. I was just like intrigued with the aspect of like being able to be accurate with a firearm. So I did that just to do the courses, safety courses. And then I got a Glock, and then I started going to the range. And then it was fun. I mean, I loved it. I read everything about it. And then people were telling me, yeah, it's target shooting is fun, but like, you could be competing and like you do this course called the Black Badge. And so I was like, wow, okay, there's so much more stuff you could know about handling firearms safely, and like just new drills, new training stuff. So I did the Black Badge in April 2013, just for fun. I was just like, hey, I just want to get better, get good enough that I can compete, have fun. Locally, I wasn't expecting to travel so much. And it's just, you start doing that, you start getting to know the community, and you just start going to other matches. And by training, you start to see results. You're chasing people that like when you started, they were like the top dogs, and you realize that it's achievable. So you just keep going, and it led me to becoming like where I am today. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey. There's no miracle. It's just work, dedication, discipline, and just a lot of fun.
So how is your training compared like this past year and a bit during the pandemic to previous years? Like how much less shooting have you done? Less matches have you done?
Oh my God, it's crazy. But actually, I was training a lot, and I got to the point where I was like not getting fed up, but I was like getting exhausted. And I was training for the World Shoot that was supposed to happen in Thailand in 2020. Obviously, the pandemic put a pause on all of this, and it got postponed to 2022, actually, December. So it told me, like, I was just like, I took it like a necessary break. And so I was just like, I'm just going to have fun, do other things, change it up a little bit, still shoot locally here and there as much as we could. Obviously, it took a while before like we could see matches again last summer. But in terms of training, I barely trained, to be honest. Actually, no. I saw the beginning of the pandemic as ranges were closed, but so I was like, okay, I was bored at home. So I'm going to do dry fire every day for like 15 minutes, but every single day, and try to like do it for a month, like every single day. I used to train dry fire probably 5 times a week, every morning for about 15 minutes, plus my regular live fire training, which the last 2 years where I was really training heavily, I was shooting about 20,000 to 30,000 rounds a year, plus the dry fire. That was like just my biggest years. Then 2020, I just did dry fire. So every day. And actually, I did this for like spring till I would say September to the Quebec provincials, because we didn't have many matches, but all I did is maintaining my skills with dry fire. And I did it for like 153 straight days without a break.
Nice.
I was pretty happy with that. And,
I have a question regarding the dry fire. So for those that don't know, the IPSC rules in Quebec for most ranges are that they don't allow forward or rear movement, right? So it's mostly left to right shooting. So for someone like you who's now going to compete around the world, with the full rules, do you end up doing more dry fire like movement drills for the ones that you can't do live, I guess, locally?
Actually, there are ways to train, but like lateral movement is pretty much the one you'll see most commonly. Obviously, if you go to Ontario or there are some clubs where they can do forward movement only, and matches will be like, we abuse of them. It's like, oh, we can do it, so we'll do it as much as we can. But if you go to an international match, actually, it doesn't happen that much. There's a lot of lateral movement, some open space where you end up like running forward and backward, but you don't have to really intensively train for it. So yes, you can do it in dry fire for sure. Otherwise, I was training in Vermont when we could cross the borders.
Yes.
So I would go in Vermont and I was able to do all those movements, but it's not something that you need to work on. And I've done a lot of training with like international shooters, and there's nothing like everything that you do forward, backward, you can pretty much do it like side by side. You will work on the same things, same principles. You just once in a while, you go and just to be comfortable running forward and comfortable doing like going backward safely with where the muzzle point. That's the only thing, but you can do that in dry fire for sure.
Okay. I was just curious about that.
I mean, we have to deal with it, but
yes, of course.
It never really handicapped us like that much.
It's kind of a silly rule when you talk to people about the politics behind it. Like it's been explained, and I'm like, doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is what it is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we deal with it. It is what it is.
So when you were doing this dry fire, are there any specific drills or skills that you were working on? Like, okay, these are my core things that I'm working on.
Absolutely. And to most people, it would probably sound very boring, but it's repetition. So it's all about being able to, I'm looking somewhere and my gun the sights needs to be there aligned. And when I press the trigger, the gun doesn't move. For me personally, it's the mag changes. So all the reloads, they got to be smooth. So it's repetitions. Every day, I would say you can do pretty much like everything movement wise. The only thing you cannot do in dry fire is the recoil, the feeling of the gun, the timing when it kicks and it comes back. This has to be done at the range. But everything else, in terms of IPSC competition wise, you can do it if you have like the big space. Like you can set up barricades and stuff and work on entering a position, leaving, all those kinds of stuff. You can do shooting on the move. There's so many things you can do, and there are pretty good books about it. But me personally, I will work on the basic stuff. So drawing the gun, transitioning, working the trigger, reload, and leaving and entering a position. No matter if it's just side movement, doesn't matter. But I want to have it like it's natural. When I'm ready to shoot, my sights will be like on target. So those are the main things. Those are the main things that when you go back to a competition after weeks or months without training, it's like you want this. This is what feels the most rusty. This and the recoil of the gun, obviously. But,
Right. That's cool to hear. Yeah.
It's boring stuff. So a lot of people they see that and they're like, that's so boring. Yeah, I mean, you can make it fun. But for me, it's like, I know it sucks, but you got to do it, and it
Just
pays off.
get in shape with the basics. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Go for a run.
Yeah,
exactly. Fundamentals.
Well, you see a lot of people lose time, whether it's 3-gun or IPSC, lose time on the manipulation side of things.
Yeah. I guess
That's what I've seen, anyways.
There's a couple of things. I mean, so if you're into three gun, you know, like Daniel Horner, one of the best three gunners in the world, and this guy was explaining how like there's like balloons that like they drop eventually. Some of them you just need a little tap to just keep it up. Some things they drop more often. You got to make sure like those are really like always on top. So it's the things like some fundamentals things you got to make sure you work on them all the time because you're going to see them in every matches. And other things are just like a table pickup start, like or unloaded start with mags on like some scenarios that are like you'll see that like maybe once or twice in like every 2 or 3 matches. They don't matter much. You just got to focus on that part when it happens, but you don't have to overtrain it. It's just like you're going to waste time if you do that. So, I mean, 3-gun, you're going to have to work on loading that shotgun way more than like loading the rifle or something because you do it way more. It's the kind of thing that you got to put your effort to the right place.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. That's an interesting way of looking at it with the balloons.
Yeah. I guess some are heavier than others.
Yeah.
So in the last 4 Canadian nationals, you were obviously the top Canadian in production, and you just finished second to an international. Obviously, the top guys in the world. What do you take out of that? How does it motivate you, I guess, for the next nationals and then world competition?
Yeah, actually, that's true. I mean, I don't see it as a failure. It's like,
oh no, not at all.
Obviously, like usually the top international like shooters that come, they're like top 10 in the world. So for me, it's a benchmark of like, okay, how close can I beat them? And it's like it starts with like I remember, I think probably the first match against I probably beat the top international shooter on one stage. Like I had one stage win and everything else, he was just winning them all. And, it starts like that. And the next year you're like, oh, well, I beat the world champion, like 2 or 3 stages. Like he's beatable. Like he's more consistent, but you can beat him. And they make mistake like everybody else. It's just that their level is so high that their mistake is just they wash it off by being so fast or so other things. So, but they are beatable, and it's just like you try to reach the closest and closest. And sometimes, like I think 1 year I did the nationals, and it was like Ben Steger, and the world shoot was the same year. And both results were about the same. I was at around like 93%, which confirmed me that like, okay, well, Canadian Nationals was a match. I finished at 93% of him. And at World Shoot, he won the World Shoot. I finished 93% of him again. So like, I'm pretty consistent too. Like it wasn't like a luck or bad luck. I was just like,
absolutely,
this is where I am. And I see it as it's good to know where you stand. And because if you don't compete against the best, you'll just, I guess you get lazy, and you might not even know what's going on out there. And like you kind of just sit on what you have instead of keep being hungry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, when you shoot with the alien, that'll probably make up for the other 7%, and you'll probably beat them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It has to. Yeah.
So you're shooting the alien this year, right?
Yeah. I started.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just got them like maybe like 2-3 months ago, and I mean, it's a different beast. It's very interesting though. I see it as a challenge right now. I'm like, I shot so many rounds with like a Tanfolio like /CZ, so I'm very comfortable with a Tanfo. Like it fits like a glove. The recoil, the pattern, the sights, the gun behaves like I know how it behaves, and I know the timing of it. It just feels super smooth.
Was it a stock too, Alex?
Yes, I had a stock too. Still have them, and but the alien is just like it's different recoil. It kicks differently. So, but I'm getting used to it. Like I haven't been training much. Maybe shot like maybe 500 rounds through it. It's nothing. So like when I'll be through like 5,000 rounds, I'll have like a better idea. But like right now I'm seeing the potential of it, because like it's deadly accurate. Like where your sights are and when you press the trigger, like it's crazy accurate. But it doesn't, like, it kicks weirdly, which you gotta adjust a little bit the tension in the arm, which I find it's useful because like it forces you to relax more. If you're too tense, you're not gonna have like a recoil pattern like reliable. It's gonna bounce all over the place, which you don't want. So I think I'm gonna learn how to relax more, which is going to be beneficial for just my shooting in general as well. So I like that from it. Yeah, it's
Nice.
it's a learning curve though. I like getting out of my comfort zone and learning new things. So I'm digging it. And I was scared of like having to relearn the natural point of aim and my reload and stuff because the angle is different. But to be honest, so far in dry fire, this gun feels super easy to adapt. So I'm really happy with that.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So the world shoot was moved to next year, correct?
Yeah, December 2022, as well as the Pan American. For it was supposed to be in Florida in September, and it got postponed to Florida September 2022. It is what it is. But honestly,
Yeah.
I'm happy with the decision because I just looked at the calendar, and I mean, I'm busy with work and stuff, and like I see the calendar, and we're gonna be shooting what, like 3 matches this year. Like there's something like 3 matches till September, and September is provincials. It's the only level 3 match, and then after that, what? There's like barely matches. Ontario matches are getting canceled, so I'm just like, wow, okay, it's gonna be a quiet year. So you want the year of world shoot, you want a lot of matches just to get into groove of training and stuff. So I am postpone it to next year, and like you'll focus. So this year, have some fun, see some friends. It's gonna be great to go to the range again, but no actual pressure of focusing on the best performance possible. Just like I'll focus on that next year.
So leading up next year, when would you start like turning it up, dry fire wise and live fire, like a few months before, or?
Yeah, actually, usually the season where I start to train would be like April.
Okay.
Like in the winter, I'll train a little bit and then take some time off, like because we always have like in Montreal the MIC, Montreal Indoor Challenge, which is like end of January. So from early January till the match, I'll train like more regularly. And then February, March, and April, I'll take it easy, like a little bit of dry fire, a little bit of live fire, but not too much. Just do the matches once a month or twice a month. And then I start the training like mid-April, where I start to like, okay, regular dry fire. I have a plan. I train X amount of rounds, and the more the summer comes in, the more the round count, and it just builds up. And I don't think you need to be shooting like 25,000 rounds a year. You can manage to shoot less during winter and shoot more during summer, and just ratio your ammo situation, especially with things going on right now. You got to be training smart. And for example, 2020, I shot like 3,000 rounds in total.
Oh, really?
In 2020, yeah, which 2,000 of them was probably in January because we didn't know about COVID, and I was training a lot. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a good year, and everything stopped.
was gonna be a good year, yeah.
yeah, and everything stopped. And I mean, I shot a bit in August just for the provincials. So that's it, 3,000 rounds, which is ridiculously low. But I mean, it's like bicycle. Once you've done all the work to a certain level, it's like you don't need it as much anymore. Like the gains are very minimal. You can just maintain it, and of course, you want to get better, so you got to train. But you can at least maintain it too. Especially last year, it was just like everybody was on the same boat. So
yeah. You do training as well for new shooters, correct?
Yep.
Or for people looking to improve their skills.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm training some people that are just like, look, they're not even doing. They don't even have their black badge. They just want to get better at shooting. So I help them with that. But I'm more like, I like to train people like they have their black badge and they want to get better at the sport. Because the mental game, how to manage pressure and how to perform on demand, all those things, those are really the things I really enjoy, sharing my knowledge with, my experiences, and yeah, all the fun stuff training at the range. It's like you can push so much higher than just trigger press and grip and stance. Like you have like so much more depth in IPSC and other practical shooting sports. So I just really enjoy sharing my knowledge. So, and people, I mean, as long as people are willing to learn, and I'll be willing to share my experience.
That's great.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Did you guys have any other questions for him?
No, not really. I mean, it sounds like like 2020 was a bit of a skip year just because it was so up in the air. This year it's looking better, and I'm looking at my gear and like I gotta warm up a little bit better on this stuff because it's pretty rusty and it's not feeling great. But yeah, it sounds like which next matches do you have scheduled that you're trying to get to?
Well, yeah, I'm scheduled for the Quebec provincials, but I'll be registering to probably some local matches around Montreal, maybe like Quebec City as well. I was looking for Ontario matches, but they keep getting canceled. So I'm like, okay, borders are reopening, so that's good. But it's just their situation is just something else. So we'll see. But like to be honest, like I find I need a little goal to make sure, like, okay, I get out there and like I start training. I need some sort of short-term goal. Right now, it's like my short-term goal will just be to go have fun and just get the rust off a little bit, not have too many expectations. But definitely, I got to get comfortable with the aliens. So this will be my next goal probably, which is starting to get good. But yeah, I'm just like discovering this thing. So all next matches, bros. I don't know. I didn't even check the calendar, but I checked quickly. But it's probably going to be like Masca or something like.
Sand Hill should be the weekend after, I believe.
Oh, okay. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sign up for that one. So
yeah, the thing now is that you got to try to sign up because everybody wants to shoot. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna see a bunch of matches popping up here right away.
Yeah, right. So people are like, we're on the fence, and I'm pretty sure now that like it's getting back normal-ish, people are gonna be like, okay, well, we need matches, and we have the time, and we have the space, and like, let's go. And because usually we can have like a match, and sometimes 2 matches every weekend. I know Ontario was like packed, like it used to be, and I'm pretty sure Quebec is like growing a lot to the point where, they'll be able to have like a match in Saguenay and a match in Montreal at the same time. But like it covers it, and there's going to be one every weekend. And hopefully I think the people are eager to just really start shooting again. So they'll make it happen. Hopefully. I'm unfortunately, I'm just a competitor. It's just like I don't run things in the IPSC world, but I'll wherever there's a match, and like I'll try to go there for sure.
My first experience was with Masca, so that was the first time I shot in Quebec, and it was great. It was a good group of people. It took a lot of fun, and I don't even I'm learning French, but I'm not even close to being bilingual. But people were like so friendly. It was really nice. Really nice.
Yeah, Masca is a nice range too. They make really good challenging matches for the space they have and stuff.
Yep.
And like, sure, it's just lateral movement, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Well, thanks so much for your time. It was great meeting you, and good luck with the training with the alien and everything else, and obviously with the nationals, and hopefully you'll be back at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
So we have in the news the can part. I actually don't even know about this.
Oh,
What did they announce?
Yeah, the CS AAA basically put out more details on. So Campar stopped shipping guns and ammo. Boy, I would have loved if this spring came with Campar, and they just left it between my door and my screen door, and I went and picked it up. It's like, oh, it's a spring. That would be great. They stopped shipping firearms and ammunition, and they gave a little bit of detail as to why. I will share my screen so that I'm not just talking and you guys can actually like see this release that the CS AAA put out. But basically, like, the situation is complex because of these strict transportation regulations around firearms and ammunition. And there was some issues with getting those Campar to basically ship these. So it was some issues in licensing, shipping, and that kind of thing that they had run into. So that's the issue that they ran into. Primarily, this is just going to impact again our shipping of ammunition to end users, because we have options for everything else, but the others are a little bit harder to get to.
Okay, and this is like full rounds. It has nothing, like they'll still ship primers and powder and all the.
I'm not sure if they'll ship any of that.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. And then the next one here was on the CCFR's blog. The Liberals were invoking Section 39. So basically what had happened is there's a court battle right now to find out the reasons why, are the reasonings internal to the government on why they banned what they banned with the OIC. And part of it was, hey, for discovery purposes, we need to see why you guys chose to ban these firearms. And they said, no, that's secret. And the judge said, what if you just show me? What if I just take a look at it and determine if it's secret? And they're like, no, government secret. Well, Section 39, yeah. And he's like, well, you haven't yet already, so I'm going to ask for them. And they said, Section 39, state secrets. You can't see it. You can't see that. So that's where they're at. They won't say what evidence they had to ban these firearms, because they don't have any. Their evidence might be like them sitting around a table being like, this one looks kind of scary. Why don't we ban this one? Yeah. Oh, Justin doesn't like this one either. You got to ban that one, regardless of if it's been a naughty rifle or not. It's that one's got to go too. So, interesting to see what'll happen with this one. So that's just a little update on the CCFR's legal case.
Yeah, their evidence is we think guns are bad, and that's all we're going to say about it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Not much else to add to that.
No, it's just, I guess none of us should be too surprised by that. Like, they weren't going to just come out and say, "Oh, we really don't have any evidence, so we're just going to overturn the IOC," and away you go. But
yeah, I'm hopeful that they'll still be able to get access to that evidence. It might be so late that it doesn't matter, because they'll have other legislation in place. But I would like, because that would be politically damaging for that to get out. If they get out what the reasons why they block that stuff, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. It's going to be embarrassingly bad, and it's going to be good for us.
Yeah, good for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we need it.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the CCR legal donations.
Nope, no new CCFR legal donations this week.
Okay. All right. New Gun Stuff sponsor, Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire is now a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is roasted in small batches and is quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to www.boltactioncoffee.com. Use discount code SLAMFIRE. And New Gun Stuff, or go ahead if it's...
Did you guys take a look at the STK 100?
No.
Okay,
No,
so striker fired pistol. Well, who cares? Come on, we've already done that like a million times, right?
There's a million of them, yes.
Yeah, that's not new. This one's so weird. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so you look at it and you're like, yeah, okay, cutouts, sights. Okay, it's got an optics, cutout for it. That's kind of neat. I guess you put a red dot on there. That's easy enough. But then you look at the grip and like, there's no grip panels on it. It's just like the grip and the frame are all one piece.
Oh.
It's aluminum clamshell frame.
Okay.
Just blowing my mind here. Like, what the hell? Now, I saw more that was weird with this thing. So clamshell aluminum frame. That's weird. Like most people are going polymer lower. These guys are going aluminum. It's going to be just a little bit heavier, which should be better for recoil and that kind of thing. Optics ready. They list a 3 to 7 pound trigger pull, which I hope that's like for a variety of models, because otherwise that's way too big of a range.
Is that adjustable?
Maybe it's adjustable. They say it takes most aftermarket parts. Now, given that it looks Glockish, it's got the Glock takedown. It's got a that looks like a Gen 3 guide rod sticking out the front there. Maybe this takes a bunch of Glock parts. So maybe it's this weird aluminum framed thing with an optics ready slide that you can put Glock parts in.
Swap in Glock parts, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. So like when I first saw it, I'm like, I'm not covering another polymer striker fired pistol. But it wasn't. So weird. And it's got a chunky fat butt grip on it too. Like if you like them with a lot of chonk in the back like that, there you go. Got a nice big grip on it. Weird that they didn't use the squared off trigger guard, eh?
Yeah.
Like everyone does a squared off trigger guard this day and age, and they went with just like this round one, a little bit expanded, so you could use the gloves, I guess, with it.
Yeah.
Very odd. Yeah. So interesting. I don't know what it'll price out at in Canada. I think their MSRP in the States was $600, so like the pricing was okay. But interesting.
So what, 800 here then? Something like that?
I don't know. Like it depends. Some manufacturers sell for the same in the US. They sell it here in Canadian dollars. Like CZ does that. CZ treats us real nice. And then other ones, they're like, oh, you're in Canada? We're going to charge you 50% more because your stupid laws are a pain in the butt to comply with. The
screw you tax,
Yeah. So I'm not sure what RIA. I don't think RIA even has an importer that isn't like just like a importer exporter like Aztec or Iron Guns or something like that. So if they do have an importer, then maybe we can get these in country for reasonably priced.
I can't think if I've ever seen any Rock Island product in Canada.
I have. They
have?
Okay. Yeah, their 1911s are neat. Like they have a double stack 1911 or 2011, I guess. That's popular in 3-gun. It's not nearly as good as a 2011, but it's way cheaper. and it's not who was that Canadian manufacturer that did the double stack 1911s? It'll come to me later. But anyways, it's higher quality than that, but still much cheaper than a 2011. Not quite as good as a 2011, but still much cheaper. Anywho, that was weird. I didn't expect that.
Very interesting.
This next one here is it's not a new gun, but it's interesting that it's here. Wolverine has the Freedom Ordnance FX9 P4 9mm. It's a 4-inch carbine.
Restricted, obviously.
Restricted, yeah. It comes with a stock that looks like it's, what do they got in the US there? The stabilizer, the shoulder stabilizer, rather than
a brace.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
brace
brace.
rather than a real stock on there.
Mm.
But it's neat. I mean, if you wanted like a terrible 9mm pistol. I mean, actually, if you put a different extension tube on it, or maybe it's got a full length extension tube on it, if you put a full stock on this thing, it would be kind of a cool PCC. Like if you shot PCC for IPSC and you need something like as compact as possible, your local MDs like do all sorts of nasty things to the PCC shooters, like make you shoot around corners, under barricades, and that kind of thing. This would have all the clearance in the world to get around that stuff, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And while I was like on a roll and like looking at those kind of things up, I found like another one that was coming in. Sounds a little bit pricier, but got a better pedigree with the B&T SA carbine.
Yes.
Yeah. At GHM9G. It's got 175mm folding barrel. I believe that's 6 inches. And another tiny little PCC. That would be a pistol in the States, but here it's restricted. I don't know. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. This next one. So Bushnell has 20% off on Engage Trophy or Prime binoculars for, I think it was like a month and a half. One second. June 15th to July 30th. There's a mail-in rebate, 20% off. So if you get a Bushnell Engage Trophy or Prime in that time, just keep in mind you can get 20% back.
That's a good discount.
That's a decent discount. If you can find a decent price on one of those Bushnells, it would be good savings. If you're looking for AR15 parts, Maple Ridge Armory is putting a few different AR15 parts on sale. So they've got some BCGs, some 4Ns, flash hiders, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for that kind of stuff, Maple Ridge has some of those.
AR parts just make me sad because then I miss shooting my AR.
I think that they'll start finding homes in other rifles, and I think that's what's going to solve it for a lot of people. Just like the Mavericks and that kind of gun out there, you'll be able to put those gun parts in. Or if you get real rude and a Dremel and a couple beers in you can make a kid trigger. Timney trigger fit in your WK 180.
Is it safe to drink in Dremel?
Not for the rifle. No, not for the rifle. But,
how about for the user?
As long as you're wearing safety glasses, put your safety squints on. It's all good.
Yeah,
got it.
And then if you're looking for like a good budget press to kind of start off with, something that'll last you a little bit longer. The Mark 7 Apex 10 progressive press. Tenda's got these things for $3,700. Those are really the start to, like, if you're doing a high volume 223.
Wow, yeah.
I was joking a little bit about the value price beginner part, but yeah, this is a new progressive press from Apex that I don't know, looks fancy. It's got a bunch of heads on it.
Yeah.
I guess you could use this to, like, the first one lightly dusts off any dust that's on the case, and the second one smoothly just gets the. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now, but lots of heads, lots of room. I don't even know what I would do with 10 stations. That's too many.
That's wow. Yeah,
10 station head. Like you literally could have like dies for absolutely everything you need. Well, I mean, in 223, there are a lot of steps. Like you need to swage the primer pocket and trim and chamfer and.
Well, that's just it. You could mount a case trimmer. You could do your case prep and loading on that all in one go.
Yep. This is the kind of thing that Bolivar was doing with his as well. He had a trimmer attached to his progressive. Yeah. You have to if you want to do 223. Unless you want to do like 2 runs of it, just because you've got all that extra stuff to do. But if you just want to put them in once and just have it do the rest, that's one option.
That's some serious automation. Wow.
They sell the belt drive and the motor for it too. So if you want to motorize it, that's an option. But like now you're like, by the time you get it motorized, it's got to be like what, $10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the auto drive is $2,800, and you've got to add like bullet sensors and powder checks and this sensor and that sensor. And by the time you're done, you're probably you're probably sitting around that 10 grand mark.
Yeah.
But boy,
It's
you're going to be
pretty-
kicking out 223.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just push a button and you sit back with your beer and watch.
Dump some
Load.
buckets of cases or bullets or whatever whenever
Yeah.
it starts getting low and it beeps at you. It's like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Get her going. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could have something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'll just keep buying when it's cheap. Ammo prices are going down. So I took a look. There's
I saw that.
an American user that charts out prices of ammo and right around January to April, depending on the caliber, between January and April, that was the peak of ammo pricing. So at the start of Rona, it was people like panic buying, being like, oh my God, I got to stock up the bunker and get like water and food and ammo and like have enough ammo to like wage war and whatnot. And then, I don't know. And then Biden won. So everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to ban everything. So then they panic bought some more. I think everyone's like sated now. Everyone's got enough ammo and the prices are going to start going down. So I bet in 6 to 8 months, prices are going to be like super reasonable again. So if you have enough money or not enough money, enough ammo to last, I think I would sit and wait. I bet you we're going to get cheap ammo in 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
That would be nice.
I'm ready for it.
All the production is all cranked up. You think about all those product, like anytime that there's a peak, they update their production lines. They put more money into the factories to be able to produce more ammo faster, cheaper, with less bodies. And then as soon as the rush is over, they're like, oh, okay, well, supply meet demand, and then we get better pricing.
And then we start seeing sale. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
2,000 round combo packs and
Yes.
bulk stuff and yeah.
I want the drum.
That's a big drum of ammo.
Yeah.
They're never priced good enough. Every time I look at them, I was like, man, I could just buy them by the box and it's the same thing. If I buy a drum, I expect like 10% discount on that ammo.
Yeah.
And then I just buy it with a bunch of buddies, right? Hey, you guys want to get a drum of ammo?
Yeah.
Watch the poor Canada Post guy try lugging that up to one of our houses. I bet you he'd leave the tag. He'd be like on the way to your door with the tag, not even bothering taking it out of the truck. He'd be like, no, I'm here. I see you.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Canada Post is no longer delivering ammo.
That's not ammo. It's just a drum. It's just a real rattly drum. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why someone put a Hornady sticker on there.
Yeah. Drums of ammo coming soon.
Yeah.
Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood and steel refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at www.dcgunsmith.ca. Follow Armory DC Gunsmith on Facebook and on Instagram. Do we have any feedback this week?
No emails. We've got a couple people commenting just in the Facebook chat there. Gary was mentioning, glad I live on the side of the country that Ottawa forgot about. I assume that's west.
Yes.
I assume that's west. Yeah. Mike was saying, I'd like to see more practical shotgun matches happening here. Practical shotgun matches are fun. Easy to set up. Yeah. The guys who would be setting those up around here also like 3-gun. So we just include the other 2 guns.
I see.
Yeah. I might put one on this year. I'm still deciding. Yeah.
That'd be fun. But the thing about a practical shot, like, what are your max round counts for like are they ridiculous? Do I need to go buy like a $400 fancy ass chest rig from the UK or something like that?
Well, of course. The loading off that's so nice.
They are. Yeah. I was feeling it running my FMA AliExpress shell holders this weekend, and a couple of times I picked it. I grabbed them out, like I had a handful of shit. They were just like all messed up in my hand. And
when I did it before, ran like IP6, so I think maximum round count for the shotgun is 28.
Woo!
That's for a long course. Yeah.
You need a chest rig for that. You need something with some carrying capacity.
Yeah.
I should get one. Are there any for like a decent price right now? Or are they all still ridiculous for the really good ones?
Well, I buy the Magload. Yeah, you pay for them, but I think they are just so nice. They're probably the easiest releasing, strong retention. Like the classic karate chop in the middle of the shell, and it holds good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the prices though, but yeah, I got
high.
Yeah, they're high. Well, last fall I ordered a 24 and an 8 to go along with my 12, and that order alone, I think. Well, I got a belt in there in that too, but that was like $800.
Oh, I was looking. I like the Safariland ones, but even they're like quite expensive. But the thing about the Safariland ones is like that's plastic. You're paying like hundreds of dollars for like plastic parts out of that, and that hurts even more. At least with those ones, like there's some springs in there and some tuning, and you're not just getting like good plastic clips. Yeah,
I think the caddies alone were probably about $650 because I did get some other stuff in that order too. But yeah, they're still pricey.
Yeah, but it's faster. Makes up time.
Yeah. Well, and it all depends. Like I tell people, if you're not gonna take it like to that next level, if it's just a hobby to you, go buy the cheaper stuff. You know, like Invictus is still good. Only reason why I switched from it was these were just like the Cadillac to I don't know what else.
The release is better.
It is.
Yeah. Just pulling them off and having the quad in your hand nice and tight and not having like the last round like go sideways in your hand as you're trying to rip them out or something like that. Like that. Yeah. It makes a difference. It's faster.
Yeah.
That's what I like to tell myself. I would be faster if I just had better equipment. I just need to spend $600 in caddies and maybe not have
dollars.
Yeah, with some stuff it does. With some stuff, yeah.
In this world, we can always justify the cost of everything. So
it's got to write it off business expense.
Yeah.
Other than that, Mike was just commenting that the STK 100, it's an aluminum Glock with a 1911 grip angle. Yeah, it is a 1911 grip angle. That's one thing I forgot to mention. The grip on it is different. It is like a 1911. Para Ordnance is the Canadian company that did the double stack 1911.
Okay. Para Ordnance. Okay.
Yeah. And then they went to the US and the quality turned to garbage. And now I don't think they make them anymore. They gave up. I think that's about it for the comments on Facebook.
Okay. If you'd like to email us, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email at slamfireradio@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that through Patreon, www.patreon.com/slamfireradio. If you are a Patreon and you haven't received your patches, please let us know. Send us an email with your information. Do you guys have any shout outs for tonight?
Yeah, I got some to the other Family Day volunteers that helped make a great event at Chaz, and to the 3-gun ROs. I didn't mention it, but at this last match, I did an RO. It's probably the first time in like 3 years that I did an RO. I actually just like attended and did like attendee stuff. It's just as much work. It like you're hauling steel and patching. It's just as much work, but it was good to not have to think about the stages and just shoot it like a regular person there. It was kind of interesting.
So how was resetting?
Well, we did the work squad, shoot squad thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So resetting was it was fun. It was fine.
Yeah.
What did I do? I ran the tablet, and I think I like reset some steel and that kind of thing. Mostly ran the tablet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot you guys were doing that.
It's good. I like the shoot reset squad. It's I like to be able to put my belt aside and get comfy and then just patch and that kind of thing. And I think it's more effective. You do have to double up your stage brief and your walkthrough though. You double up those for the day compared to non. But I think you make it up in terms of like efficiency and rolling people through.
Yeah. And when you're shooting. You don't have to worry about rushing out. You can just do your prep, fill your mags, do whatever you need to do. When you're shooting, you're shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. You're shooting and reloading and then just watching the stage and trying to figure out how to game it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for me.
Yeah. I don't have anything this week. No.
No? Okay.
No.
For me, everyone that I met at the Masca match, Louis, Lisa, Yvonne, all the ROs, everyone was terrific, and you guys made it a great experience, and I'll definitely be back. So that's it for me. And
with federal primers in your ammo, though.
Yes. I keep learning. Every one of these matches. I'm going to actually have a perfect match, and I don't mean I'm going to finish top 5. I mean like just things are going to go smoothly from like stage planning to the function of the gun to like actually moving through it at a good pace. Like one of these weeks. So check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. We have 2,796 as of I guess today. Give us a review on Facebook. We'd really appreciate it. Join the CCFR. They actually have something new. Did you guys see that they're going to be putting up billboards across Canada? So in like major areas, right? So I think that's a pretty good campaign because we know like radio ads, TV, that kind of stuff kind of gets ignored. People just kind of like blow it off, but billboards in the right spots are kind of hard to miss. So it's I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. So it'll definitely get the message out to more than just us.
Yeah. Hopefully they do it in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
They didn't have Quebec locations, which was interesting. I'd like to hear what they're thinking.
Oh, they might have. There might be language requirements around advertising in Quebec, and so it's just like, just don't bother. Just don't bother.
But they were everywhere else. Like obviously BC, Alberta, and Ontario, and all the other provinces. But no Quebec locations. So, and that's it for us. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.